Hi everyone, this is what Becky did last night, and in today's video I'm going to make a felt heart in the style of the Disney Princess Rapunzel. I've made a couple of felt hearts already, so this will be my first video that I show you how I do this. So if you enjoy it, then please leave a comment, leave a feedback or whatever below. So if you guys like it, I'm happy to show you some more, so show you the next hearts that I made. So here's a couple that I've made already. The theme for this one I was thinking was the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. These buttons just remind me of playing card type shapes, and the scalloped edge makes this heart look a little bit like a tart, basically. The feathers were a little bit more attached, but my cats have had a go at that. So this is all handmade, just a bit of ribbon, buttons, felt, feathers. Very, very simple. Then I tried to go for something a little bit more complicated. So this one was inspired by Cinderella, and it's literally just some offcuts of some satin material and a crystal button, which to me kind of made me think of when the crystal slipper is on the satin cushion. So that's where I was going with, that was my idea behind this one. And the reason I went for a black ribbon is because in the original Disney cartoon, Cinderella has just a very simple black satin ribbon choker on when she's got her beautiful sparkly dress on. So yeah, that was my inspiration for that one. Today I want to go for Rapunzel. So how do I make these? I basically make them up as I go along. I get some offcuts of materials that I have in mind, and so Rapunzel, I've had a look at her dress. It's very much purples in different shades, and then of course she's got her long yellow hair. For the yellow hair, I've got some yellow rickrack which I'm thinking of doing to sort of bring that visualization together. But for the felt, I'm going to start with a purple felt. I've got some sequins that I might have a go with. I've got a little bit of purple satiny offcut, and I've got some of this crystal organza. I'm not quite sure which one I prefer. I think I like the idea of having the two-tone going on with that one, so I might do something with that as well. To begin, I'm taking my tonic dies here, which are just heart-shaped from Tonic Studios. Oops, sorry camera. And I'm going to use this to run through my grand caliber and cut out two heart shapes. You can of course just cut them out by hand. I'm just using these because I have them, and I like to use my bits up, use the tools that I've already got. But if I change my mind, so for example this one wasn't done with a die, that's a different shaped heart. So this one was done with the die, so this is the shape heart we're going to end up with. But I will vary these from time to time and not use my dies. But today I'm just going to run this through. So this is just the felt with the dies on it, on top of the cutting plate and on top of my base plate. That's perfect. And so quick as well, so quick and easy. So that's going to make the front and the back of our hearts. So I can pop these away. The other thing I've got is I was going to use the smaller heart that came with the same set, this one here, to cut out a centerpiece to go in the middle, but to mix it up a little bit and to have a completely different, more wacky shaped heart in the middle. These dies have just been released by Crafter's Companion. It's Sarah Davis's signature collection, and this little set of mini hearts comes with Crafter's Inspiration magazine as one of your free gifts. So handy if you've got that. Just going to use a temporary method of sticking this down, and I'm literally just going to use a glue stick. So let me just grab that. So pop a bit of glue stick down. Okay. And then I'm going to make up the same sandwich. So this is the same cutting machine sandwich that you use for paper. Let's run this through. So that's going to go onto there. I then want to make another layer on top with this crystal organza. This is two-tone. I think it's a red and a blue, but it really looks purpley, especially obviously with the purple behind as well. And then you've got the shine of that satin underneath. So it's going to give it a really pretty look with the layers. So now we can start stitching our top element together. This is a good place to start. I'm going to stitch this together, and I don't care if the stitches are on show, because this is where my sequins, my lovely, lovely sequins are going to come in. What you can do with sequins is they hide a whole load of sins. If you ever make any ugly sewing, or you're not a very neat sewer, you can then go around the edge with your sequins and nobody will ever know. I have here just some budget, I guess, embroidery skeins which I picked up in a supermarket one time. So all you have to do, so a lot of you are going to be more expert at this than I am, all you need to do is separate a couple of the strands of your colour. So they come in a long bit, but what you actually want is you want to get down to the individual strings inside. So tease out the end of one of the strands, like that. Hold it with one hand, and then with your other hand, you just, there you go, you pull. Take the end of your string and then wrap it round your finger a couple of times, say three times maybe. Then you just roll the strings off your finger and then screw it in a ball and then give it a little pull to push it down to the end. And there you go. It's a knot. I've layered up all three of my pieces, and I'm going to start right on the back here through the middle. There we go. All I'm going to do now is I'm just going to do a very simple stitch. I'm going to go around the outside and then back up through, and this will all start to hug it and hold it all in place. That's all held in place now, and I want to show you this lovely little trimming that I have here. I found it down the ribbon section in Hobbycraft, came on a roll, and it's perfect for adding another tone of purple, because if you remember I said that Rapunzel's dress has several different shades of purple in, so I can really capture that by bringing in the different purples. I've rethreaded my needle, but just with a single strand, because this is going to get another stitch through it when I put the sequins on top and stitch it all down to the heart front. So all I want to do for this one is just do a very simple running stitch just to hold it in place. That's finished now, and as you can see from the back, I've just tied it down. Let me show you how I do a frill around the side. So on this one here, there's two things going on around the side. I've made almost like some piping here with some satin, and I've taken a sequin material and I've sandwiched that in as well. With this one, I'm not going to do the piping, but I am going to do a frill using some more of this organza. So to do that, I need to cut a long strip. Fold this in half all the way along to the end before we attach it onto the heart. So again, I'm just going to use a very simple running stitch where I'm going over and under, over and under, all the way along. I finished my running stitch all the way to the end, and I'm just going to, I don't want it too gathered, but I am going to gather it up a little bit to give it a ruffly look when it goes around the edge. So I'm going to leave it about that for now, and if I have enough, I'll pull it in a bit more when I get stitching. Now what I want to do is sew this all the way around what will be the inside of that heart, which will later become sandwiched to the back. So you can see how all of this is starting to layer up. That's this part done now. So that will be eventually sandwiched in with some stuffing. This is going to be on the front. It's looking cute, really cute. I'm not pinning this in place, but I do want to line up this top valley with that one there and the point down there. I'm going to go in through the back. And again, just a running stitch all the way along. You don't actually need, for small projects like this, or if you're just having a go, I wouldn't bother buying lots of stuffing or buying expensive stuffing. You can, if you're into recycling, take an old pillow with the fibre inside, obviously not a feather one. You can take an old pillow or even an old duvet, cut it open, and you will have so much stuffing in there, you will never need to buy any. So there we are. I'm just popping a bit in to this small heart at the front. And now I can continue to stitch all the way around. Okay, there we go, very cute. So we're finally going to cover up all of those stitches now with the sequins. I'm going to use the same thread again because it's the perfect colour to match the string of the sequins as well. Let me pop my needle through first. Actually, I'm going to come up through the second sequin. Hi Lily, what am I doing? There we go. So I came up through the second sequin because the first one was going to fall off. And just on this first sequin, I'm just going to go through it twice. So I've come down the next one, and I'm going to go back into that first sequin again, just to make sure it's anchored down. Right, we're off. Okay, so I'm going to go down each sequin, each hole in the middle of the sequin, and then up its next door neighbour. Alright then, so we've gone all the way around. I'm just anchoring down these last sequins so that when I snip it from the string, it's not all going to fly away. So just going through it a couple of times. There we go. Make a knot at the back. I'm going through that loop a couple of times. And now I just need to carefully, there we go, through the sequin next to my last one. And then just trim off any strings. There we go. I have here some yellow rickrack, and what's cool about this is I had a choice. I could have just stitched it down as it is, but rickrack does this really cool thing when you weave it with itself, and I'm hoping it's going to give the illusion of some sort of plait going on. So I hope you can see this. So I'm literally just going to weave this rickrack over and under where the bumps are. So I'm kind of locking it together. I finished braiding this all the way to the end. So now I've got the task of just stitching it on. It's twisted a lot, so I'm going to untwist it as I go along.